It's time! Hi guys, my name is Munosi, also known as Munosi Eat Vegan. For the next few days, we are about to plan out our vegan menu, try out recipes, and I'm going to share some of my favorite recipes that I have come up with over the years for Christmas. Now, I think I am the Christmas queen in terms of hosting. I can cook for 50 people, no worries, but I like to do things from scratch mostly, which I'm going to try not to do as much this year because it's too stressful. So today's recipe by Veggie Desserts is a mushroom Wellington that I found on, did I just drop a mushroom? Yes, that I found on Pinterest, and I said let me give this a try, test it out and see what it do. So to begin with, I need to slice 500 grams of mushrooms, so we're gonna be here for a little while. I need some strength to chop all of these mushrooms. Now I actually do enjoy chopping mushrooms. They're one of the easiest veggies to chop. I'm on the final mushroom. Ooh, that's how much 500 grams of mushrooms is. So now we're gonna chop up the rest of the veggies, get the stove warming, and begin making this mushroom Wellington. Now over here I've got a pan preheating, and then I'm gonna, what am I doing with the salt? I'm gonna add some olive oil, onions, they go in, and then we're gonna wait with the garlic, the mushrooms. That's a lot of mushrooms. I've actually never had a vegan Wellington. I cannot wait to try this out. Would love for this to be like main dish on my vegan menu. I'm gonna add my thyme in here. Now the recipe calls for sage, but the post did say you can substitute sage for rosemary or thyme. So thyme is what I had. Thyme is what I had, and thyme is what I had. So that's the herb that, of course, I spilled. Let me add my thyme, getting it off the sprigs. Because it's a hard herb, you can add it at the beginning. When you're using soft herbs like your coriander, your parsley, basil, they're the type of herbs that you add towards the end. But when you have rosemary, thyme, sage, which are harder herbs, you can add them at the beginning and help them start to release the oils as soon as possible. It's gonna take a little bit of a while to get all the water to evaporate. Now all the water has evaporated, as you can see here, just like the recipe says. And now I'm gonna add some garlic. It asks for 3 cloves, I added 4. For me, garlic is like vanilla. You tell me 1, I could add 5. There's no, I feel like no rule. Depends on how my spirit is feeling. So I added 4 garlic cloves. Now if this were my recipe, I would have added a whole lot more spices and herbs because that's just how I cook. But I wanna honor exactly what the recipe is calling for. So yeah. I'm gonna add some spinach. This was frozen spinach that I just defrosted and squeezed all of the liquid out of. As we go in, quickly. And then we're gonna add some soy sauce. That's going in. Guess it's gonna give even more umami flavor. Drive I spilled some. Drive all of the umami flavor in. I'm cooking this on medium-high heat, by the way. And then I'm gonna add some black pepper. I'm gonna do a lot. They said a quarter of a teaspoon. I say whatever your spirit is feeling like. Do you measure out your spices? I feel like maybe if I'm cooking like a dish with a lot of spices, yes I do. But like, I'm not gonna measure black pepper and salt. All of that is to taste. So we're gonna give the mushrooms a taste to check if I need salt. Because soy sauce is quite salty, I'm gonna add a bit more soy sauce. I'm sorry, veggie desserts, but that's just how I cook. I struggle following recipes. This is what we're looking like. I have to get it to start sticking to the bottom. That's what the recipe says, and that's when I'll know that it's ready, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Now, this is what we're looking like. Although liquid is evaporated from the mixture, what I have to do now is to roll the mixture with cling film into a log. Remember, we're trying to achieve the shape of like Wellington, excuse me, which is a log. So I cooled it down slightly so that it's not that scorching hot. And now we're gonna roll the mushroom. I've tasted it. So far I'm loving the flavor, though it's not strong flavor, but it's tasting good. I feel like anything wrapped around pastry is gonna taste great. That's just my take on it. I love pastry. I don't know what size I want to do it. I probably should do it like similar size to the puff pastry. And then let's wrap this puppy up like this, and then I'm gonna refrigerate this. I think I'm gonna put it in the freezer so it goes quicker. The recipe says 30 minutes. I'm gonna wait for it to be as cold as possible so it doesn't melt my puff pastry, and we wait. I feel like in the freezer it should be about 20 minutes. I feel like I'm cutting the time down. As you know, I'm impatient. And yes, I did not finish my coffee. I have this, I'm gonna call it a disorder, not finishing my coffee, and I'm done with it. So see you in 30 or 20. 30 minutes is up and I've got my puff pastry over here. This is the Checkers House brand puff pastry. You must make sure that your puff pastry is vegan because not all puff pastries are vegan. You have to read the label. If it says made in a facility that uses cow's milk, soya and egg, it doesn't have those ingredients in them, but they're just stating that just in case some cross-contamination happened. So this one is vegan, and then another vegan brand you can get is the Woolworths puff pastry, but you must check because there's two types. There's the one with butter in it, which is obviously not vegan, and then there's the one without butter, which is vegan. So this is what I'm using. First off, I'm gonna dust the surface before I roll out the puff pastry so it doesn't stick to it. And the only way to defrost or thaw your puff pastry is in the fridge. You cannot do it outside because then your butter will start to melt and you don't want that. So you just pop it in the fridge the night before you're going to use it, and then it will be nice and defrosted. Now the oven is preheating at 200 Celsius degrees. Have that preheating for about 20 minutes now, which is what I like. Between 20 and 30 minutes is what I like to preheat things for. I'm not flattening it out too much, I'm just stretching it a bit so the mushrooms fit on it. Now we're gonna get the mixture and then add that on this. And here I have the cooled down mushroom mixture. I'm just making sure it's gonna fit. Yes, it looks promising. I have to unwrap it, get rid of the plastic. It didn't stick together in the log. You see, it came apart. It is cold. Let me flip it in the plastic and then release it. There we go. The recipe also called for chestnuts, which were optional, but they're pretty hard to find here in South Africa. I'm trying to get the shape of it back. I think we got long enough there. And then I'm gonna fold it towards each other. Let me get some aquafaba to do some egg wash. Got some chickpea liquid in here, which is what I'm going to use for egg wash. The recipe calls for milk, but I love aquafaba. It works so much better than milk. And then when I put it in the pan, I'm actually going to put it like seam side down. I don't know if I should get rid of the ends. I probably should. Let's get rid of the ends, but then still leave a border. Both sides I got rid of the ends. Then seal them with a fork to make sure nothing escapes. We cannot escape it, we cannot come out, mama. Now I've got this pan over here lined with parchment paper. I'm gonna transport this carefully and seam side down. It's a nice amount of puff pastry I have over here, which I love. And then now I'm gonna wash it with the aquafaba. Make sure you get it all over so you get even browning, even coloring, so it looks all good. All of the sides, making sure I don't mess. Now the recipe doesn't do this, but I'm gonna sprinkle some sesame seeds over the top to give it some more pizzazz and also flavor. It's not just looks, it's flavor. So I've got some sesame seeds that I'm sprinkling over the top, and now I need to score it so it's nice and beautiful and it gets air vents. I'm gonna try and get diamonds from this. Not all of it, I'm going through it, just some parts. Let me get some air pockets in there so the air can escape. And this is what it, oops, don't drop it, looks like. And as you can see here, these are the air pockets that are poked all the way through. So I'm gonna bake that, I think the recipe said for 30 minutes, another 30 minutes, and then we will taste the pie. done. Look at how pretty. Now let's get it onto this palette. Oh, how good does that look? Doesn't this just make you want to skip straight into Christmas? It looks so good. Let's get ready to taste. Now I seriously cannot wait to taste it. Let's slice into it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at this beauty. You can see all the mushrooms, the spinach. Let's go in for the bite. Now this time I really don't want to burn my mouth. I love that. The mushrooms are really cooked to perfection. They still have a bit of a bite and then they're not mushy, whatever you call it. They are simply good. I would add a lot more. Like she said, the recipe said sage or rosemary or thyme. I feel like I would mix those herbs in to add more flavor. But how I'm gonna rate whether this is a good Christmas recipe or not is by what you can do to prepare the day before, a few days before, because you don't want to be running around on Christmas prepping things from scratch on the day off. So what I would do with this recipe is I would prep my filling, roll it into a log like I did, and then keep it in the fridge ready for the day off. On the day off, you just roll out your puff pastry, add the filling, and then pop it in the oven, and then it's done quick. Just before you're ready to serve, you get this in the oven and then it comes out nice and hot. This with we get some gravy, some mushroom gravy to add more mushroom flavor into this on top, and some roast potatoes. We cooking. It's gonna be divine. So I would rate this recipe, it is above average. I would rate it a 7.5 out of 10, based on the ease of the recipe and how easy the ingredients that this recipe calls for are to find, and it will appeal to a lot of people besides the mushroom haters, who I do not understand. I don't get it. Besides the mushroom haters, this would be an amazing recipe. Gravy over it, roast potatoes, some broccolini. I'm so excited for Christmas food. I am so excited. I cannot wait. So like I said, this recipe is by Veggie Desserts. I will have it linked down below so you can make this for Christmas if you wish. And that will be it for today's Vlogmas in the Kitchen video. Come back in the next day or two. I haven't decided yet what I'm doing. It's either every other day or every day. Keep you in check, and then we will make another Christmas recipe to see whether you and I, can have it on our Christmas menu, Christmas buffet, be that for next time. So if you liked this video, please press the like button, and if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. See you next time. Bye.